and the crowd start bouncing. Think you can stop what we do? I doubt it. We got the energy, we tell you all about it. I searched for my spark and I found it. Everybody in the crowd start bouncing, making bangles at a young age. My pen setting fire to the page. I will show you how to rock that stage. Listen to this in the car, you'll be getting road rage. Listen up, cause what we do every day is deep. Having crew on stuff on top of.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight on this Friday night to celebrate the grand finale of the Green Light program. So thank you. Maybe. I'll tell you more about it in a second. This is giving a bit of feedback, so bear with me. And I haven't done any public speaking for over a year, so hopefully I'll do the right job. Thank you. Okay. Where are you? Okay. Man, there's a video playing. You're good? Okay, cool. Awesome. So this is the Green Light pitch night. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands that we're meeting here today. I pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging, and celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal peoples and their ongoing cultures and connections to the lands and waters of New South Wales. I also acknowledge and pay my respects to our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people colleagues joining us today. Okay, so basically, well, firstly, I would like to thank Dr. Alex and Murray Herbs here for giving me this opportunity to run this amazing program. So maybe to give you a bit of background, I actually just reached out to Murray with another one of my startup ideas. And he was like, actually, you don't have to say yes, but I have this job opportunity. And then when he told me more about it, it sounded really exciting. And I guess here I am, having run this program, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it and enjoyed working with the Deep Green Biotech Hub team and the UTS Startups team. So I want to start with that. But I want to tell you a little bit about the program. So basically, it's been running for 12 weeks. This is the end of the 12th week. So as I mentioned before, the final pitch night, the 4 amazing teams have gone through this program. We've had lots of amazing workshops, and I'll tell you a bit more about the companies that helped us facilitate those. And within those 12 weeks, they've had science mentors and also entrepreneurial mentors to lead them through that. And I would say I'm super proud of all the teams to where they've come from, kind of where they started. And I hope you've achieved a lot. A little bit about the program. So as I mentioned, 12 weeks. This is the 5th cohort. They all get seed funding as well to kind of kickstart their businesses. And it's an algae accelerator program. So it's any startup that has anything to do with algae. And we're planning to run this next year as well. So if you're interested, come and see us. We all follow Deep Green Biotech Hub on LinkedIn, and we will announce the next date soon, I'm sure. So yeah, would love to have any algae businesses. Obviously, it's very niche, but algae, I think, is on the rise. And it's Dr. Alex will talk more about why algae is so amazing. So I'll leave that up to her. But that was a little bit about the program. And a bit about the schedule for tonight. So obviously we had a bit of networking already in the beginning. We'll have a little welcome and a couple of speeches in the beginning. And then we have the pitches. So we have alga starting first, then Stoke Bites Pickle East Coast Algae. And then we have amazing judges who I will introduce later. We'll have judges' questions, but we'll also have audience questions. So I'm just letting you know, if you think of any questions, you can make some notes in your phone, and I will pass on the mic later as well. And then basically we'll have the winner, will be announced, closing remarks, and then we'll have another hour of networking. So you will have more time to network with people. All right. Next, so I would love to, I have a lot of thank yous, so bear with me. Firstly, the amazing team at Deep Green Biotech Hub, Emma Finneran and Gemma, who are at the back there. They were in the registrations. Big applause for them. And we have Kira Picknell, I don't think she's here, Professor Peter Ralph, Dr. Alex Thompson, who you'll hear from in a minute, and myself. So yeah, amazing team that's been behind this program. So thank you so much. Also, thank you to the New South Wales Department of Enterprise, Investment and Trade for the support of this program. Without them, this program wouldn't happen. So massive thank you to them. Woo! All right, as I said, I have a lot of thank yous. So we've had a lot of amazing companies involved facilitating a lot of the workshops. I won't read out every single name, even though I really appreciate all of them. But some of the companies involved is Ashers. Stuart is here from Ashers, judging today as well. We had an amazing IP workshop with them, and also funding and investment workshop. We have, as you can see, a massive row of EY people, amazing EY people. A few of them are here in the crowd, and also we have Matthew judging as well. We've had a design thinking workshop with them, and also a pitch practice last week, where, as you can see, over 30 EY executives were online helping these teams prepare for tonight. So that was really amazing. Really, thank you, EY. We also had the founder of Young Henry's, Richard Adamson, who ran a workshop, who actually collaborates with the Deep Green Biotech Hub, or C3. Also Aaron Sheeman from Sheeman. We had Laura Morelli from Third Hemisphere running a PR workshop. Elliot Roth from Spira, who's like an algae startup veteran. So he was talking about all about scaling in algae. Josh Rosenberg in Canva, who prepared these teams to have the best pitch deck possible today. Then we have a bunch of people from UTS Startups who are all, well, not all, Pete is actually on a holiday, but Aaron, who ran the pitch practice workshop. Where's Aaron? Oh, there he is, there he is. Then Murray Herbst, who is the Director of Entrepreneurship at UTS Startups. He's also judging. Also Tom, who is also my partner. He was mentoring with me quite a bit of times, and actually, the induction of this program, I happened to get the flu, like the proper flu, so I couldn't attend, and I sent my partner off here to run a few workshops, so thank you so much for running a few things for me and helping me out. And the teams have been really grateful with your marketing expertise, and he's also helped give some feedback on their pitches. Also, Ali from Artesian, she was running the investment workshop. And then we have a bunch of amazing science mentors from C3 as well. I think some of you are here today. Give me a wave if you are. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for supporting the teams through the 12 weeks. Alrighty, so basically, here's all the logos. I kind of read them all out. And also tonight, we actually do have a prize for the winner, but it's a very chill pitch night, so it's a little bonus, I suppose. Sorry, I haven't really been following on my script at all, but basically, Ashers, EY, and Artesian, and Canva are providing a prize. Sorry, I fully lost where I was. Okay. So EY is actually giving all the teams a prize. EY is giving 1 hour virtual coaching session, providing insights and guidance on government incentives, funding opportunities, and critical growth drivers to all the teams. So thank you so much, EY. And from Artesian, so the winner gets a mentoring session with them. Then you get a 1 year of Canva business for free, which is awesome. And 3 hours of legal advice with Ashurst. So the winner gets that. So woo, good luck to the winner. All right, and last but not least, Jervis Bay Brewing Co. is keeping us hydrated tonight, so thank you so much to them. They actually just got their B Corp certification last week, and they're a sustainable brewing company, so thank you so much to Jervis Bay Brewing Co. And please make sure you try their beers after we're wrapped up here. Okay, I think I've thanked everyone now, I hope, and I apologize if I missed anyone, but anyone that's helped, obviously, major thank you. As you can see, there's been so many people involved. But I would like to hand it over to the amazing Dr. Alex Thompson, who will talk a little bit about the amazing algae. Thanks so much.
Wow, it's so great to see everyone here in person tonight. I think this is my 5th Greenlight pitch night, and it's always so lovely to see so many people coming and supporting these algae startups and to learn more about algae. So I'm here from the UTS Climate Change Cluster. If you haven't heard of us, we're a research institute within the Faculty of Science. We're across a bunch of different teams. We basically focus on decarbonisation and working how to mitigate climate change. So we do that in a bunch of different ways, from coral reef restoration to ocean microbial testing, all the way to making new products out of, you guessed it, algae. And that's exactly where our Deep Green team sits. They sit alongside our algae team and help to basically innovate and come up with new ideas with business to do with algae. So you might have heard this word thrown around. How many people haven't heard of algae that are here tonight? One. So I don't really need to rehash this with you guys. Algae is kind of a scientist's dream. When we think about innovative startups, it's really a fantastic platform to develop new products, services, and of course, make the planet a nicer place to live in. The types of products that we can come up with are super diverse. So it kind of lends itself to an accelerator program really, really well, because it's an amazing kind of tool that we can come up with all different solutions. Within Deep Green, this is kind of what we're here to do. It's sort of engaging with people, helping to connect people with those algae industries as well as those algae technologies. And Greenlight is a key part of this, and this is why we're so proud of this program. Greenlight is the world's first algae biotech accelerator program. I believe we're still the only one, and really it's here to support New South Wales startups and SMEs. We're super proud of the work that Deep Green and Greenlight specifically has done over the last couple of years. If you've seen this before, you'll know that the Australian algae industry is pretty small, but it's growing very, very quickly. And in fact, since Greenlight started, we've seen about a 30% increase in the number of Australian microalgae companies, which is really, really exciting. You might be familiar with some of the other companies that are out there that are getting a big name for themselves, companies like Ulu and Sea Forest. This is a really exciting emerging industry, and we're really excited to see these Greenlight teams do some amazing work. Before I go, if you are even more interested in algae, we have a South by Southwest event next Wednesday morning. You don't need a South by Southwest ticket to attend. You can come along, learn more about the research that we do in the algae space in the Climate Change Cluster, and register online and come along and have some breakfast and meet some more algae people. I'm going to hand back to Jane. I don't think Jane actually properly introduced herself. Can everyone give a round of applause to Jane, who's been looking after our Greenlight teams? And I think on behalf of all of us in Deep Green and C3, we want to say a massive thank you for becoming an algae convert and looking after all of these teams for us. So a massive thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alex. Not an algae convert, because I love sushi. So, I mean, I've always loved algae, I feel like, but I didn't know all the amazing things you can do with it. So thank you for teaching me more about algae. So I'm more of a fan of algae, I would say, definitely after this program. But now the slide is already up. I would love to invite Murray Herbst, the Director of Entrepreneurship of UTS Startups, up on stage. Thank you so much. Woo!
Okay, I'm going to be 30 seconds max. I just want to say how nice it has been to work with yourselves on this. For those that don't know and people watching this stream, how many people are in C3? 100 people in C3. Would you say it's a world leader in algae technologies? It is, definitely confirmed. And when people talk about kind of industry engagement at universities, like this is it. You're watching it, you're sitting in it. This is an example of UTS stepping up and saying, not only will we produce world-leading research and a kind of concentration of activity, but we're going to support companies that want to do things in this area to the point of investing in them, giving actual money and actual support to help them take things to market, the things that you're going to see now. So I realize people are waiting for those companies, so I'm going to get off. But I will just say, like, UTS is a wonderful place because of you and because of everything that happens here that makes me very grateful to work here and be surrounded by wonderful other people doing wonderful things that then enables even more wonderful things like the things you're going to see now. So thank you very much, Alex and the team, for the opportunity, and I look forward to the pitches. Thank you.
Thank you, Murray. I think you forgot one important thing. Well, I have one more announcement to make. Murray was great, very lovely enough to say that, you know, you got the UTS Startups membership for 6 months. He's happy to extend it to forever. So all the teams tonight get a UTS Startups membership. So thank you, Murray. And just so everyone knows, so UTS Startups, we are actually sitting in the event space right now. I think this is like, by the way, I don't know, this is like a 3D printer area, something area. There's a couple of office spaces just there, and then there's another office space next door. So they get free co-working space, which is awesome. Plus you get a free access to an amazing like-minded community. So yeah, it's awesome value. So thank you so much, Murray. Alrighty, so now over to the judges. So we obviously have Dr. Alex Thompson, we have Murray Herbst from UTS Startups, and then we also have Matthew Nelson, who is the EY Oceania Chief Sustainability Officer, and then we have Stuart Dullard who is a partner at Ashurst. I will hand over to them to do their own proper intros. Here you go, over to Matt.
I didn't expect that, Jane, sorry. Matt Nelson from EY. So EY has obviously been very supportive of this program. We've really enjoyed it. I must say, it looks like a lot of investment, but the feedback that we get from our people, having sat through the pitches, was amazing. Like, I had people reach out to me afterwards and send me a message and say, we love doing it. It's actually really got some buzz across EY, so we're really looking forward to continuing that connection, and they really enjoyed it. You would have seen lots of questions come through in your pitch practices, and it just shows how much this is connecting with our people on the ground. So thank you very much to we should be thanking you, not the other way around. So thanks.
And thank you, Jane. Stuart Dullard's my name. I'm a partner at the global law firm Ashurst. I've got the great privilege of heading up the high growth and venture capital practice there globally. So the team that I work in every day and the team that I lead, our purpose is to help people who are building companies to build a better tomorrow. Now, that does include some people funding them, but what really tugs at our heartstrings are spending our time and energy working with founder-led technology companies. And look, who doesn't love a SaaS business that does something better, faster, cheaper? But the kind of work that you're doing here at UTS Startups, particularly with the Biotech Hub, is really what we're passionate about. So it's a great pleasure to be involved and to support the program in this small way.
Alrighty, I think Murray and Alex already spoke, so you kind of know them already. So we'll move on. So you will see here the photo that I posted here. It's not like a usual team photo. The reason I did mention to, I was unfortunately sick when we had the in-person induction in the same room, so I couldn't attend. And the rest of the program was online. And I've actually met some of these teams in person for the first time tonight, even though I feel like I know them so well and have been on their startup journey with them. But I guess that's the photo you get. But we will definitely take some better photos tonight. But basically, that's the order. We have Alga, which is a nutraceutical company, going first. Stoke Bites, health bar for surfers. Pickle, biofuel for farmers. and East Coast Algae, which is education for kids, algae education for kids. So anyway, sorry. Nope. I will explain to you how tonight works. So each of the teams get 5 minutes each. And Lourdes, my colleague, my friend, at 4 minutes, you'll get a warning bell, which goes like that. Yep. And then at 5 minutes, you'll get a couple of bells. Yep. And we won't be super strict, but if you run over 15, 30 seconds, then we'll kind of be like, okay, time to finish. But just so you know, that gives you a warning, but the teams also do have the timer at the back there, which is great. And then we'll hand it over to the judges. Judges will have 5 minutes to do questions and feedback, and then we will hand over to you to be able to also ask some questions. So I'll be running around with the mic, so don't worry, just put your hand up. But this is how the night will run, and after all of that is done, the judges will deliberate a winner, and then we can all go and celebrate. So that's that. Man, if you can pull up Alga slides. So let's welcome Luis from Alga. Woo! You got the clicker?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
good. All right. Thanks for the offer, Murray. I will definitely move in with the lifelong subscription to UTS Startups. Let me know when I am ready to go. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Luis. I'm the co-founder of Alga. The nutraceutical industry has some major problems. First, for every 5 supplements that you buy globally, 3 have chemicals and synthetic additives. The industry produces more than 100 billion of plastic package that contaminates the environment. And lastly, many of the supplements lack a complete nutritional profile that causes the consumers to buy more nutraceuticals, and that causes inefficiencies for them. We believe that seaweed has a solution to these problems. That's why we created Alga. We produce a 100% natural marine nutrition based on Australian cultivated seaweed. You guys have a sample there. We use eco-friendly packaging. We use recyclable packaging and also biodegradable refills. And we use a powerful formula that uses 3 Australian seaweed: giant kelp, golden kelp, and cladophora. Sorry. There we go. Our formula is powerful in antioxidant support, based on the compounds like carotenoids, flavonoids, and polyphenols, and also is rich in omega-3 fatty acids. This will help to support heart health, to boost the immune system, and also for cellular protection. Our packaging, we have 60 capsules in our bottle. A consumer can take 1 or 2 per day. That means that after 1 or 2 months, they will need another refill. We are proposing a subscription model where our customers will get a refill, and it will be packed in a biodegradable package. And it will be convenient because it will be directly shipped to their houses. We are targeting health-conscious consumers in Australia from 30 to 50 years old. They live a healthy lifestyle and they value natural products. We expect that there is a market of around 5 million Australians that fit this demographic, and we want to target 500,000 of them. The Australian supplement industry is expected to reach 1.7 billion by 2024. Based on our initial estimation of customers, we want to address only 10% of those 500,000. So that represents 50,000 customers in the first 3 years. Our business model is a subscription-based refill model. So our customers will buy the initial amber glass for $50, and then they can subscribe to get a refill every 1 or 2 months. So they get another 60 capsules. Based on our calculations, we get an annual contract value of 250 Australian dollars. We expect that by year 3, we can hit a revenue of $12.5 million with a strong base of 50,000 customers. Our strategy to go to the market starts engaging the audience. We're going to create interactive quizzes. We're going to create health assessment. And also, we're going to partner with some micro-influencers. We plan to engage with our audience with live Q&As with nutritionists and algae experts, and also to create a lot of content from users that are already consuming our product. We plan to create a very wow experience, sending welcome packages to our customers, and at the same time, we want to send them exclusive wellness tips and also incentivize them to refer to other new customers. In terms of competition, FICO Health is the closest competitor for us, but we believe that we have a differentiator. First, with our product, that is the formula of our product, and also because we want to create a partnership with the farmers. We believe that if we create a strong partnership, we can support the Australian seaweed industry. They will farm the seaweed, and we will create the nutraceuticals. We also have higher health benefits, and we have a roadmap to have it approved by the TGA in Australia. Our team is combining multiple skills in operations management, marine biotechnology, chemistry, and also regulatory and compliance. We are seeking for 1 million funding that will help us to get to profitability by year 3. Yes, we expect, based on our financial projections, by month 20, we can hit our break-even point. We're going to use the funding to support our product development, our marketing, operations, and also logistics. We have the power, we have the marine biotechnology that aims to blend and combine multiple biocompounds available in seaweed. We can create multiple formulas and enhance natural preventive health. We want to get seaweed. So please join our revolution, join the waiting list. Go to alga.co, and I'll see you there. Thank you.
Alrighty, over to the judges.
Thank you. Also, if anyone didn't see, we've all been given jars of this.
You can pass it around. That's a prototype.
Do you,
oh, yes.
I have to let go of it?
That's how the product will look like.
Okay.
Don't take it, but because it's a product.
Don't take it. I had a question. So I did notice on the back of the ingredients, because I wasn't sure if I was meant to be looking at, you've got 3 different types of Australian seaweeds.
Yes.
I'm just wondering why you chose those particular seaweeds for this product. What was kind of the thought process into choosing those?
Sure. We have a very strong team. We have 2 experts in marine biotechnology and a chemist. They have more than 10 years of experience working with algae. So we started first with a strong research in the Australian market in terms of the availability of seaweed. And then also based on the available chemical analysis, there's already proof that this seaweed have the compounds that we were looking for. So that was the first step. Then we went into looking for farmers that were cultivating those type of algae in Australia. So we were able to partner with Kelp, that they are growing Eclonia, and also with Southern Seagrass that is growing Microcystis, the giant kelp. So that was our logic. Of course, we also found suppliers overseas in Europe, but we want to work with local farmers so we can support the economy here.
Really quick one. For something that's so differentiated, like if I walked up to a shelf in a chemist and saw that and the variations that you're showing as well, that would be kind of appealing to me. Why go DD, direct to consumer, instead of go through chemists and other resellers?
Yeah, talk to some of the retailers. The cost to have our product, they take around 30 to 40% of the margin. And also it's a very competitive space. When you go to a chemist and you have like 100 different supplements, it's hard to get the attention. You have like 1 or 2 seconds to get the attention of someone. So we believe that we can create a difference in a different model where we target directly to consumers. We can create a very strong marketing strategy, and then we can, based on our demographic, I think we are very positioned to go directly to the consumer.
My question was about the production process. If you could just sort of explain a little bit about how you've got that under wraps. Is it made in Australia or is a kelp source there? And how are you actually producing the product at the moment?
Sure. So the process starts with the farms. They cultivate the seaweed, they dry the seaweed, and they powder the seaweed. So we use the powder. Okay, we use a manufacturer. They are able to combine. We use a blend of the powder of the 3 different seaweed, and we use a vegan stabilizer that can help us to combine the different seaweed. After that, they process the packaging, and then we can have the final product.
So you own the production process. You don't outsource that.
Sorry?
You own the production process. You don't outsource that at all.
We will outsource that because we don't have yet the funding to create our own factory. Yes.
Okay.
Or questions. So I'll do feedback instead of questions. So wonderful. Thank you. It was amazing. I love the product. I love the concept of it. It's awesome using algae for something that is about health and actually really driving home that discussion that you had around the health benefits as being superior of the standard product. I think you should draw that out more. I think that's fantastic. Really play that up. I think something that is both sustainable and delivers healthy outcomes is something that you should really draw out. So well done on that fantastic pitch, and thank you so much. It was super interesting.
Thank you so much for your feedback.
All right. Thank you so much, judges. Does anyone from the audience have a question or any feedback? Yeah. Oh, I'll go to you first and then. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. I have a question that somewhere you mentioned that it's sustainable product. Are you considering the whole packaging to disposable, or it's just the how you grow seaweed? And if it's the case that you're considering packaging and all the life cycle analysis of this product, is it carbon neutral or net zero carbon?
Yeah, we actually seaweed has the power to capture CO2. So the more seaweed we can use for reproduction, we are capturing more CO2. So that is beneficial for the planet. Second, we initially thought about using the extract from the seaweed, but that produced waste. So then we changed the approach, and now we're using the powder, so we don't waste any of the seaweed. Second, we're going to use biodegradable packaging. We also are in contact with some manufacturers that they can also use non-chemical products for the printing of the labels, but also for the lids. And also the capsules are vegan capsules. So we are considering sustainability across the production.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Luis, and welcome back to Sydney after a long time being away from Australia. That's good to see you here, and the same place where I met you or saw you, 7 or 8 years ago when it's early hatchery days. It's good to see you here, back here. The question to you, I noticed one of the market, your market, the SAM, right? You're saying 30 to 50. Why that age range? Why not beyond, or what's the reason of 30 to 50?
Yeah, very good question. We did an analysis, when we have, some of our workshops. That was one of the first thing that they suggested us. Start with a very clear user persona. We consider you targeting an earlier, a younger generation, but they didn't have. When we started analyzing other products in the market, that specific range age has the disposable income to pay for a product like this, because the product will be, the price point will be $50, and then to get the refills, we will be $40. So that's why that specific, we're using that specific range.
Thank you, Luis. This is so interesting. My question to you is, so you've defined your target market, you're very clear about it. Can you tell us a little bit more about their purchasing behavior? Do they buy supplement at the chemist? Do they buy it online? Are they prepared to? I know some people in your market that actually get the best product and prepared to pay 3 times the price and source it overseas. Just wanted to get a sense of the purchasing behavior of your target market, if you can tell.
Absolutely. There is a mix of behaviors here. There is a growing demand of accessing to supplements using e-commerce platforms directly to consumers. But at the moment, most of the products and most of the consumers, they buy directly when they go to the chemist. So we want to also differentiate ourselves in the model, but not just because there is an opportunity there because of our process of reducing waste. We want to make it more convenient for the customer. Okay, so they introduce healthy supplements into their lifestyle, and it's accessible and easy for them to get. So that's why we want to offer the subscription model. So they just get the subscription, and every month or every 2 months they get the capsules shipped directly to the house. So we want to encourage, or we want to change some of those consumer preferences in terms of buying supplements.
Hi, Luis. Quick question: with the warming of the oceans, do you see any future risk to your supply chain with the 3 strands that you have chosen?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
With the warming of the oceans, let's just say in a future event, do you see a risk to your supply chain with the 3 strands that you've chosen?
When we talk to the different farmers, okay, there are different ways where they can farm the seaweed. There is inland cultivation, and there is also ocean cultivation. The supply chain may be impacted, but because we have the protocols to do chemical analysis, we have also considered other types of seaweed. For example, microalgae. Microalgae doesn't depend, for example, if you use spirulina. You can cultivate spirulina in tanks. So you can actually replace the whole concept of just relying on cultivating the seaweed in the ocean. You can find different type of seaweed for the production.
Alrighty, I think that was all the questions for Luis. Thank you so much. One round of applause for Luis from Alga. Well done. I'll grab this. You don't worry about this one, I think. Yes. Alrighty, next up, Man, can you prepare the slides for Stoke Bites? Awesome. Jamie from Stoke Bites. Come up on stage.
The crowd is already stoking. Hey guys, my name is Jamie and I'm the founder of Stoke Bites. This time 5 years ago, I was living with chronic illness, chronic fatigue, and chronic pain, while simultaneously creating my first startup called Chronic Hope. I learned so much on my journey of recovery from chronic fatigue syndrome. On the health side of things, I learned about the power of nutrition and nature to create healing in the body. And on the business side of things, I learned about how to create products, the power of business to drive change, not only in the environment, but also in people's lives. So I wanted to combine both of those things and create my new startup called Stoke Bites. Another element to this is that I started surfing 2.5 years ago, around the time that I was recovering from chronic illness, and I found the Stoke. The Stoke is this feeling you get after getting out of the ocean or a really good workout, a great swim, a great surf, and you're just feeling joy, you're feeling excitement. And I wanted to package that up and put it in a bar so that you could eat it. And that's how Stoke Bites was born. Now, one of the big problems I found was I would be doing these 2-hour surf sessions and I needed fuel to fuel the surf sessions, and I couldn't find anything that I liked on the market to fuel my surf session. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to create it. And that's how Stoke Bites was born. It's a nutritious, delicious, environmentally conscious product that incorporates seaweed as a key ingredient. Now, I love seaweed because it's good for people and the planet. On the people side of things, it's balancing, it's detoxing, and it's 10 times more nutrient dense than land-based plants. And on the planet side of things, 1 kilo of seaweed can absorb up to 20 kilos of CO2. So that can be the equivalent of when you drive 80 kilometers in a standard car. These are sort of estimation averages. We also are differentiating ourselves through creating a unique brand identity, which is through the surfing community, through this idea of sharing joy and the Stoke, and we're also using sustainable packaging. So you can see here that that's surf wax, and we're actually going to model our packaging off of surf wax. Now, our business model is going to be e-commerce, direct-to-consumer on our website. We're going to also target subscription as well. And then we're going to be targeting initially surf shops and health food shops as retailers, which is an untargeted market for health bars. And in the long term, I would like to target large retailers. Our wholesale price is $2.75 to $3, and the retail price will be $5.50 to $6. When we're talking about market opportunity, the snack bar market in Australia in 2024 is around 1 billion, and it's estimated to be 1.5 billion in 2029. And on the seaweed side of things, as Alex said earlier, the industry is only growing, the demand is growing, consumers are starting to see the benefits of seaweed, not only for the environment, but for people. So we're really in the early days of an exciting explosion of seaweed in the world, which is like so exciting. In terms of my competitor analysis, I took 2 health bars that are quite similar to Stoke Bites, and they're Blue Dinosaur and Chief Nutrition. And while taste is subjective, personally, I don't really like these bars, which is why I decided to create Stoke Bites. But also on the sustainability side of things, if you go to their website, they're not really talking a lot about how they are taking the environment into consideration in their packaging or even in the production process. Now, in terms of the roadmap, we're planning on building our brand in the next couple of months. I'm partnering with a group of surfers in Phillip Island that are called Yeah Boys, and they have a YouTube channel. And so we're going to be building a brand around the Stoke. And they just kind of run around, do surf, like do shenanigans. And the whole idea is the brand is about joy and fun. We're planning on launching in January or February. We're planning on growing throughout the year 2025 and scaling by the end of 2025. And hopefully at that time, targeting those large retailers. Now, my ask is that you guys would follow us on social media, add me on LinkedIn, and keep the Stoke alive. That's it.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Amazing. I did try it earlier and it was delicious. Let's hand it over to the judges from this side now.
Again, I'll give feedback, Jamie, rather than questions. Love the storytelling, love the background to the story. The one thing I did think you did particularly well was in the problem piece was about talking about the nutrient density. That is definitely something I learned tonight, which is great. I think the connection to the fact that a small bar can actually pack a punch was a fantastic thing. I love the brand. Stoked. I'm actually from the era when stoked was used as a proper word. So love it. Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah, and I had a question about about delivering on the execution. How are you currently making the Stoke bars, and how do you plan to deliver those through the production channels?
Yeah, great question. So we're partnering with a seaweed supplier in New Zealand called Pacific Harvest. They harvest wild seaweed all throughout the world. The seaweed we're using is nori seaweed, but it's a very high quality nori, which it's the same seaweed that the very high quality, high nutrient dense nori seaweed. I definitely chatted them in terms of like long-term scaling and production and them being able to maintain those production in the long term. So they source from different areas of the world. In terms of our manufacture, we are partnering with a company called Food to Nourish, which are actually stocked in existing health stores at the moment. They're quite a large player in Australia in the health food industry. And our packaging we're going with a supplier that is sustainable. So our packaging will be recyclable, and because we can't do compostable because the oils will decompose the packaging. But this company takes sustainability into consideration throughout their production process. So essentially, we're combining two manufacturers, two suppliers that are already existing in the industry in Australia, and we're putting it into a bar. Yeah. So.
It's so cool. Are these edible?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I forgot to have it in front of you. You can try it.
Okay.
I'm sorry I couldn't bring it for everyone else.
We can cut them up very.
But these are samples.
My question is, how much is algae, and what opportunities do you see in kind of augmenting it with other kinds of algae?
The bar in particular. Yeah. So with the bar, we put about 1 gram of seaweed in it at the moment, which is this is sort of my plan for Stoke Bites is that this is our flagship product, but in the future we would create more products that incorporate seaweed. Because it's such a new industry, people are kind of a bit sus on it. Some people are, some love seaweed and are super excited about it, but the whole idea is that this product is sort of just the beginning of a lot of products that we could launch. I have a lot of ideas, but you got to kind of start somewhere. So in terms of this bar, it will have that amount of algae or seaweed, but other products we want to increase as we build brand awareness and as we can make more and more impact because people know and love seaweed more.
Yeah, and it feels more.
Yeah.
That'll be nice. Okay.
As someone who has muesli bar trauma from being a kid in the 90s, I feel you know what I'm talking about. Got to say, this is actually pretty good. I'm impressed. I'm not just saying this; it actually tastes really good. I have a question. A lot of the things that you were talking about in terms of nutritional quality and what people are seeking in terms of something that was sustainable seems to be lending itself really well as well to the vegan market. I'm just wondering if that's also a market that you're thinking of targeting.
Our bars have beef collagen in them, so we're not targeting the vegan market. We are gluten-free, we're dairy-free, and you
might be able to get collagen from algae later.
We'll talk. So not the vegan market, but definitely sort of the health food, dairy. I did research the vegan market. It's actually declining at the moment. So there was a period where it went through a big boom and I had considered the vegan side, but it's actually, more in decline at the moment. So, yeah.
Alrighty, over to the audience. Does anyone have questions? Oh, Nico.
What surfboard is on the screen?
That's a 6.0 Hayden Shapes shortboard. If anyone.
Alrighty, we have a question.
Great presentation, thank you. You've mentioned nutrition a few times. I'm wondering what your sodium content is on the bar.
I don't have that off the top of my head, but I can chat to you later. I have it on my phone. Yeah.
Okay.
Righty, okay. Another question here.
So is there a particular reason why you chose to target surfers more specifically versus like a broad market approach for your bar?
Yeah, so for one thing I learned from my first startup is that when marketing a product, it's actually so niche. Because if you're trying to target everyone, it can get quite lost in the market. So from a marketing perspective, we're targeting surfers because it's a niche industry, it's a niche group. But in the long term, we definitely want it to be available to everyone. But also, I'm a surfer and I love surfing, so I genuinely just wanted to create a brand around surfing. I don't know if that's like dumb, but
have you thought about the US market and something like a Trader Joe's, a company like that?
yeah, I'm actually American, so definitely have thought about it.
Really?
Yeah, shocking. My family's like, please bring it over to America. Yes, yeah, it's definitely on the radar. Thank you. Yeah, so it's basically something I've taken into consideration on this whole process. We originally found a seaweed supplier in America, but it was cost too much to import. But the whole idea is to grow the brand here, establish ourselves as an Australian brand, and then take it over to America. And that's where you're really going to be able to scale. And I've listened to a lot of founders of health bars in America, and I'm sort of following in their footsteps, if that makes sense, just like in terms of how they built the brand as well. So definitely that's in the cards for sure.
Awesome. Maybe one more question. I think someone had a hand up. Yep.
Hello. Thank you so much for the presentation. And I really wish I could try it, actually. I was wondering how you plan to gain traction on the product in an online present sense. So have you thought about using either larger influencers or micro influencers? Because I know there's a very large market of surfing influencers in particular. Or do you think that's more inauthentic? Or do you plan to be more in-person advertising, let's say?
Yeah, so we're going to do a bit of both. As I've done a lot of marketing in the surf community locally where I live in Cronulla. So I have a surf shop that's already keen to stock it, and a few other sort of health food shops. In terms of our marketing, I'm partnering with a YouTube channel called Yeah Boys. You guys can check them out. They're really great. It's a group of 5 surfer guys. And they do provide me with content that I'll be posting. And we're going to be very much marketing in partnership with the bar, but then also I'll be creating my own content as well. So yeah, there's definitely, that's sort of before we launch in January, the whole next around creating that brand identity. So
interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool.
Alrighty. I think we have time for one more question. Yep.
Sorry, running over.
Okay, last question for Jamie. Here you go.
Yeah, like the previous one, I'd love to try your thing. Where my head wants to go when I hear about your product is why not leveraging people that are already buying and consuming seaweed snacks and basically, and that are full of salt, basically, that are actually not healthy, even though you think you're buying a healthy product. And basically bring those and try to acquire those. They may be your early adopters.
So you're talking about targeting people that already eat seaweed or buy seaweed.
And they are actually not healthy.
Yeah.
They're full of salt. So, but there is a market for unhealthy seaweed snack. So why not actually tapping into that market? Because it's easier to bring them to your business. Just thought.
I love that idea. It's in the plan.
That's me.
Cards, you know.
Alrighty, well, let's give it up to Jamie from Stoke Bites. Woo! Awesome. I love those salty seaweed snacks, by the way. I didn't think salt was that bad for you, but maybe I will swap to Jamie's Stoke Bites when it's out in the market. Awesome. Well, man, if you can pull up Pickle's presentation. Alrighty. You've got your mic sorted. Ready to go?
Hello.
Test.
Awesome. That works really
well. There you go. Off you go.
Can everyone hear me? Amazing. This is our farmer, and he's currently in quite the pickle. He relies on poor infrastructure for his diesel supply, and the prices just keep going up. All across the country, this is an issue. Farmers rely on diesel for 80% of their energy, but 90% of it is imported from overseas, and it's not sustainable.
Pickle does diesel differently. With a system like this, located on their farms, we allow farmers to create their very own biodiesel using algae. By introducing water to algae and a little bit of sunshine, we produce biodiesel ready for use without modifications. Now, the secret pickle juice is our eco-friendly novel process that turns algae into biodiesel 4 times as fast. Our technology actually inputs any kind of water, whether it's wastewater, seawater, or saline water, anything the farmer has to hand. Now, for the technical wizards in the room, the reason why it works so well is that we optimize the biomass extraction phase, where we've developed a chemical and physical process which enhances the productivity 4 times over. And this was developed during my time as a synthetic research chemist at the University of Sydney, validated in their labs. Now, here's how it works for our farmer. He takes our solution, attaches it to his existing wastewater infrastructure, and then our solution outputs biodiesel, ready for use in his machinery without modification.
Our system's about 1,000 square meters, or the size of a large barn. You may be thinking this is very big, but an average Australian farm is 2,500 hectares. In comparison, we're only a small dot. We don't even require the use of arable land. Pickle saves dollars and makes sense. Farmers already spend $90,000 a year on conventional diesel. With our technology, we completely replace this cost, and farmers break even in just 3 years.
Now, Pickle is doing algae biodiesel differently from everyone else. Algae biotechnology is not new. In fact, about 10 years ago, the US invested very heavily into algae biofuels. But the problem was with cost. Now, here's why we're different. By introducing our new novel process, we have achieved very high extraction efficiencies. This cuts costs. By targeting smaller regions, we decentralize the entire process, cutting costs. And of course, we are also the only solution on the market, which is also a validated circular economy. So in this way, Pickle is carbon negative, it's self-sufficient, it's wastewater cleansing, and it is always accessible.
Pickle is razor and blade, with the one-time cost for installation as the razor and the smaller reoccurring cost for maintenance as the blade. Our lifetime profit per farm is $160,000 over the 10-year lifetime.
Now, we're the team to do this. Why? We're a group of dedicated and skilled STEM students, highly experienced in both engineering and chemistry, and we're all passionate about sustainability. We're also supported by a very accomplished set of advisors in the field.
Our initial market is the crop farmers in New South Wales and then Australia. Looking overseas, however, this isn't just a local issue. Germany and the EU have been suffering under rising fuel prices and increased government pressure to support a green transition away from conventional diesel. So, since we've started in February by validating our unique novel process and partnering with one of the foremost university biotech labs in Australia, we've then gone overseas and won numerous competitions and established partnerships with major farming organizations. In our next stage, we're going to be further establishing these partnerships and developing our R&D to optimize the process and photobioreactor design. Our next stage is going to be presenting at VOCAG, the major farming trade show, later next year. And in our final stage, we're implementing our MVPs on pilot farms. What we need to get there is twofold: $1 million and a Lamborghini.
No, but in all seriousness, what we'd love from you is either your expertise, whether that's in algae, business or marketing, or your connections. If you know of a business willing to sponsor some young innovators like ourselves, willing to assist in our mission, we'd love to hear from you.
In doing diesel differently, we provide farmers the ability to safeguard their livelihood and protect the environment we so much love.
So join us in a legacy of sustainable innovation.
Wow. Amazing. Well done, Pickle. Over to the judges. I'll start from Stuart this time.
Thanks, guys. Great presentation. In terms of the intellectual property that you've developed at the University of Sydney and elsewhere, can you just talk me through the ownership of that and how that's being protected? Because that seems key to the innovation that you guys have developed.
Yeah, amazing. Completely 100% company owned. So this was research built on skills that I learned within research projects that I performed at the University of Sydney. I spent several years there. I've been a researcher there for over 6 years, but this was all done outside of the University of Sydney's purview. So 100% company owned.
Additionally, like many in the industry, we're looking to keep this a trade secret. There's a range of possible extraction values for our process. However, we're looking to keep the process under wraps so we can protect it entirely.
And have you taken advice on how you can also protect it legally as well? Because if there is something to that, I mean, we deal with not me personally, but a lot of it is even just the way that you deal with the manufacturing of the product and not going to one manufacturer to do 6 of the 10 steps in the process. There's some strategic sort of practical steps I'm sure your advisors can tell you about to keep that know-how under wraps.
Well, we'd love to talk to you about it more.
Are you confident in your ability to protect it once it's out in thousands of farms around the place? Is that trade secret able to be protected in that case?
It's also a great question. I think the reason we've kept it as a trade secret thus far is because getting a patent can be a double-edged sword at times. You're putting it out there for people who can perhaps reverse engineer it, particularly in this space where there are a lot of companies out there with a lot more resources than just our brains put together. And also, a patent is only worthwhile if you have enough money to protect it as well. We're very confident that we can keep it a trade secret because, these farmers, I guess it is a matter of trust as well. But for the moment, being a trade secret makes the most sense and is the most safety in terms of defensibility. But of course, it'll be something that will evolve down the track.
Okay. I was going to ask how it works, but I won't.
Thanks, guys. Really, really good pitch. As someone who has done quite a bit of research projects with the farming community, I think we can all appreciate that there's not a lot of capital expenditure that happens out of farms because they have such a huge capital expenditure. So I'm wondering if you've kind of thought about maybe aligning yourself with some of the government schemes to make that initial capital investment that you're sort of requesting a little bit more sort of easy for some of those farmers to actually kind of take and sort of implement on their farms.
We absolutely have, and it's something we're currently pursuing at the moment. Of course, it takes a lot of conversations to secure something like that down, but we're very confident. The government at the moment has put in about, I believe it's 27 million into just renewable energies, and I'm sure we'll be able to access some of that in the coming months, coming years.
Definitely so.
I also have another question. What algae are you using?
Very good question. At the moment, for our lab scale pilots, we're using chlorella, which is good because it's very robust, especially for the Australian sun that's out there in the outback. The beauty of the extraction efficiency process actually is that it is species agnostic. So something we are working on doing is using the local algae or algae that naturally grows in the region because that is most robust to any of the environmental influences. And it does help with the upstream costs.
Additionally, we wanted to say there's a lot of saline water that is in the ground out in the rural communities. So we're looking to experiment with using more seawater strains in later implementations. Perhaps if farmers don't have adequate source of wastewater, we can use their saline water that's untapped and unregulated.
I'm last, so I'm going to break the mold, though. I'm going to ask you a question first, and then I'm going to give you some feedback. I know you can't go into the technology, and you kind of jumped over it a little bit, and it's up here with the chemical reagent and the physical reagent, but just generally, what is it that it's more of a chemical process, or what is it that enables not the algal growth, but the transition of the algae into the diesel bit that makes it so easy for maintenance and so on? Why is that?
Yeah, it's an excellent question. Thank you for breaking the mold on that one. The process of actually turning algae into biodiesel is in about 4 steps. You have to cultivate the algae, then you have to harvest it, and it's called harvesting the biomass. Then you have to extract the oils from that algae, so that's the extraction process. And the final phase is refinement, where you add a few chemicals or materials, and you can end up with beautiful biodiesel. So what we've done is optimize that second stage, the biomass extraction phase. And the reason the chemical and physical process that we've developed works so well is because it is both chemical and physical. So it's a mechanical enhancement as well as a chemical additive. And I think that's about as much as I can say.
No, that's all right. That's fantastic. That's exactly what I was after. So feedback-wise, I love the fact farmers growing their own diesel. Love that. I think that's an awesome, just that in and of itself, and going to a farmer and saying, by the way, you can grow your own diesel. I think that's a pitch that any farmer will immediately go, yes, I want to listen to this more. I hadn't actually appreciated the pickle was the farmers are in a pickle. I'd actually thought about pickle juice, that makes you recover from when you've got a cramp. That's what I thought it was based on. So you're actually drinking it. So that was really good. The whole concept of that productivity gain in your process that enables a small unit to actually generate the diesel that's necessary, I think is also something that was amazing. The 4 times productivity point you made is fantastic. So well done. Amazing pitch. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, judges. And by the way, there's a 3D model of your...
It's a very rudimentary...
If anyone wants to have a look. Any audience questions? Okay, we'll start from here and move this way. We do have 3 minutes now left.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a question around your biodiesel extraction. I'm not asking about your trade secret, but how do you justify the difference between the conventional cost of diesel, which is around $2 that you showed us, and $1 for your product? How do you compensate the amount of time and infrastructure input that would go from the farmer's side? to do all the process from the cultivation to extraction of biodiesel. So because the margin is not so high as per my experience, so how do you compensate with the time and labor cost that goes behind it?
Fantastic question. I think, especially in the early stages, it's a little hard to pin down exactly what those will be, because the estimates are going to be so much larger when we do scale it up into bigger implementations. So it is something we're looking into. Obviously, the government subsidies are going to be a huge help in that, and they will certainly justify some more of those costs. As we move into even more decarbonisation schemes, government mandates are going to be pushing for carbon offsets in a lot of places, and we have definitely thought about this in later stages, that we can apply for carbon credits on our system and end up as something which will actually offset some carbon, and that will also be an added value that can justify that cost as well.
Additionally, I think this is actually very understated, how much the issue of supply chain is. As mentioned right at the beginning, 90% of our diesel is imported, and that's a crazy statistic for a country that makes our own energy. Farmers highly value the fact you're getting rid of the supply chain. It's a lot of supply chain issues, and when we've been talking to the farmers, they'd be willing to pay double, and maybe the break even is stretched to 6-7 years if they're able to get rid of that supply chain cost that's hindering them from development projects, from actually using their farming equipment to in an off season when it floods. What if the diesel is contaminated and it's brought to them very contaminated? These are real stories we're getting from farmers, and there's a need to reduce that supply chain issue and have it very much on site.
Well, you have somewhat answered my question with that final point there, but I am curious if you guys have considered actually starting your own biodiesel farm, if that would be something that is financially.
Yes, very much so. We've been discovering while trying to source our algae that there's a severe lack of algae producers and suppliers in Australia, and that's very much a market that we're willing to go in, because the extraction process isn't just for biodiesel, but it can be used for fertilizer and many other different ways. We're very much looking into exploring these possibilities.
And also, if I can add something here, one of the reasons that algae biodiesel has been so difficult to implement commercially is because everyone is modeling it off the centralized version that the diesel industry has, where you have one central place and you have to distribute the diesel from there. The beauty of our scheme is that we are decentralizing the whole process, putting the power back in the hands of the individual communities and the people who actually consume it. You don't have to distribute. There's no extra decarbonation, carbon costs of even just transporting it around. And you keep the cost low as well, because costs exponentiate as soon as you make it a massive commercial system. So, very good points. Thank you.
Hello. I used to be the biodiesel, I have the biodiesel portfolio for the World Council of Renewable Resources. And it was a while back and things might have changed. But I recall at that time, the biggest consumer of diesel in the world was the Indian railway system, a single client. And at that time, they were looking at Jatropha to make biodiesel to run their trains. And they were looking at using the verges of their railways to grow Jatropha. I don't know what happened to that. The council sort of folded away or something. I don't know what happened to it. But I would definitely look at the Austrade RISE program, which is run with the equivalent of the Indian CSIRO and CSIRO here in Australia. They give good startups a lot of money and a big push into the Indian market and introduce young Australian startups with promise to all the right contacts in India. And you might only need one client. I was also thinking that diesel is an analog of transport. Diesel is transport. It is transport. And those great big cargo boats, if you could all figure out how to make a rooftop, what they call the container top farm for your thing, then boats could travel the oceans without having to refuel, which would also be very useful for them.
That's very definitely a super interesting point, and we'll check the AusTrack system. I think where we're trying to start a lot of, as mentioned before, a lot of algae biodiesel technologies did overpromise. So we're trying to start small and validate and test on these farms where we know it can make a real impact very quickly, or not very quickly, but a real immediate impact, and then scale from there.
Awesome. Well, we run a little bit out of time, but thank you so much, Pickle. Really impressive. Well done. And just a quick reminder as well, we'll have some networking afterwards. If you want to chat with the teams, please feel free. Alrighty, so last but not least, okay, I'll tell you when to pull it up. We have Steph from East Coast Algae. Unfortunately, for personal reasons, she couldn't be here in person today, but she did record her pitch. So we will watch that. And instead of questions, we'll just do judges' feedback, because she will be able to watch it either afterwards or she might be watching live. If you are, hey, Steph, we miss you. But yeah, we'll watch her video now. Thanks so much.
Algae is something that we all have in common. It produces more than half of the oxygen that we all breathe. All plants and crops that feed us have evolved from algae, and it's pioneering solutions to climate change that affects us all. However, we have a problem. Young people have absolutely no idea what it is. An outdated school curriculum is completely ignoring the evolving landscape of biotechnology and climate solutions that are occurring beyond the walls of the classroom. And here's why this is a huge problem. Students are taught a severely limited understanding of what constitutes nature and what it's capable of doing. Creativity and inspiration in science and ultimately biotechnology are being denied from the minds of our most imaginative. And this is directly impacting the algae bioeconomy and its influence on Australia's leadership in global sustainability. Young people around the world are also feeling the full effects of climate change, with 75% globally feeling angry, let down, or anxious about their future. But instead of running from these problems, young people are turning and facing the reality of climate change and demanding that their education adapts in the same way that they're expected to. Yet their learning needs are not being met. And this has led me to the question of, how do I protect these young people's connection to the natural world and its necessity for our survival? So I've spent the last 2 years delivering hands-on algae projects to schools, and although fun, the maintenance of these projects requires far too much time from teachers, and they do not survive floods or lengthy school closures during lockdowns either. So I pivoted and I created a video-based algae education program that's immune to these natural disasters and future pandemics. So through the footage that I capture down the microscope, students can explore nature in a whole new realm, learning science concepts like structures of a cell and photosynthesis, whilst being introduced to algae's triumph in climate science and sustainability. The goal here really is to excite and inspire young people and to turn the tide on the doom and gloom of climate change and really allow them to see themselves as part of the solution. So making these videos always starts with an adventure, and I happen to have the best field assistant ever. I find the algae and he carries the samples back to our lab. This is my favourite part of the whole process, and it really is the teamwork that makes the dream work. So once we have our samples and we head back to the lab, I record and edit the footage into those video lessons and upload onto our website. So our customer segments are really distinct yet connected, and all three provide a really unique customer product interaction, and we cater to all. And we do this through a tiered pricing revenue model that gives flexibility and secures customer diversity. So parents and teachers are able to purchase individual modules, while schools can purchase an annual license for full access to all of our content, and an added option for grant assistance to help them access funds to cover the cost of programs such as ours. We've also considered school districts and the reach that they have, and as the business grows, we would offer a broader license for aligned organisations and government programs as well. So sustainability education is trending, and there is a lot of global push from the most influential world leaders. The ongoing digital revolution has set the edtech market to reach $605 billion by 2027, and the Australian government's response to these trends is an ongoing $1.5 billion investment into STEM education. The market opportunity for our product is global. However, a focus on a more realistic portion of New South Wales schools, followed by national expansion in the first 3 to 5 years, would see us cover around 1,700 schools across all sectors. And this would achieve a gross profit just shy of 1 million annually. So who else is doing what we're doing? Well, lots of people, to be completely honest. It's a very saturated market, which makes differentiation a huge priority. And lucky that we love algae because it provides just that. It has a point of difference. So we stand out because of our exclusive and original content that's really hard to replicate. And we also have a first mover advantage by being the first in this particular niche right now, which is establishing leadership to our audiences. So we've just released a section of our primary school program as part of a proof of concept phase to test the viability of our product. We've structured this campaign so that all video content is free with restricted access to supporting resources that can be purchased. And we've had some really exciting and encouraging leads over the last week. And once school holidays wrap up this weekend, we'll be following up on all of our inquiries. So East Coast Algae really is a family affair. I'm Steph, and I lead the science and creative aspects, while my sister Phoebe drives all other operating systems and business strategy, and Megs, well, he does all the heavy lifting in the field. So looking ahead, we are open to connections and mentors in the education space, and we're always on the lookout for grant opportunities and ready to start strategizing collaborations and partnerships that align with our work. Thank you so much for listening.
Well done, Steph. Awesome. So welcome some of your feedback, and I'll give to the audience as well to give some feedback. Don't ask questions because she's not here, obviously, but thanks so much.
Yeah, I liked the connection to education focused on solutions for climate change rather than problems, because I do think that we do at schools have seen a lot of discussion around problems, and actually empowering students and actually seeing solutions in real life action happen. I think that's really powerful. We do all know, those of us who've got kids know our kids are very worried about climate change. And so if we've got something that can really actually shift that dial and talk to them about what the future will look like, I think is fantastic. The EdTech scale looks good. $650 billion is a lot of money. It's a big market, and it is easily global when it is technology. So those were the two things that I really took from that.
I thought that was a wonderful presentation and a wonderful product. I think the challenge will be getting it into the school systems and going to market. And I see the first thing and looking ahead slide was the connections. One thing I'd suggest is getting in contact with Apropeller, which is an organization that supports female-led high-growth companies in building connections, and they've got a fantastic network through a range of partners. So, Steph, if you'd like an introduction to them, Ashurst, we support them, which would be, I think, potentially fertile ground to get some of those connections.
I'll just say really quickly, like the education sector is always struggling to keep up with things. Like it's a giant machine trying to deliver education to millions of people. So it's not going to be able to do the latest things that are coming out. But there is a clear ROI for Australia to have a generation that's educated in this. So that seems like a really clear business opportunity, but maybe it's not the schools that are under-resourced and struggling that will be the customers. Maybe it's government, maybe it's someone else that wants that generation to understand what they can do in a way that can happen really quickly. But love it.
I think it's underestimated how important education programs like this are to an emerging industry. One of the things we at Deep Green did last year was a massive industry roundtable where every single person working in algae in Australia came together and helped to identify all the problems and the things that were sort of slowing the growth of the industry down. Like, how can we really speed things up? And the biggest thing that comes out of it is that people don't know what algae is. So a company that is actually addressing that question is really, really important. It has a really important part to play in an industry that is growing and only getting bigger. And what I would say is, like, whenever we're looking at the algae industry in Australia, we look at the US, who is like 10 to 15 years ahead of us in terms of investment, number of companies, government incentives, you name it, they've got it. And one of their biggest success stories is a group out of I want to say it's Arizona, called the Algae Foundation, which does exactly this. And they have a huge presence at every single conference that has to do with biotech, algae, sustainability, and they go into schools and they teach kids about algae. I think they have something like 20 staff across like 5 different states. So it just goes to show the impact of a company like this on an emerging industry, but also the size that a company like this can have in the kind of markets they're looking at. So really well done, Steph. And I've seen what you guys did in previous iterations, and it's awesome to see a company pivoting based upon market demand.
Great. Thank you so much, judges. Anyone from the audience has some feedback for Steph? No? Alrighty. Well, I will make sure that I'll connect Steph with you, Stuart, so maybe you can say that name that you were recommending. That'd be great. Well, before we wrap up our night, and while the judges are deliberating the winner, we do have a special algae quiz for you. So I would love to invite Gemma on stage to do the quiz for you. Careful with the table, by the way. I think it's a bit wonky. Woo! Alrighty. Over to you.
Thanks, Jane. Amazing, you guys. So good. When we give the judges a few seconds, we're going to do an algae quiz. So if you'd like to scan the barcode, enter in your names, and we can get started. And there's a prize. So get competitive. We have a bag filled with all sorts of different things, some goodies from, yes, definitely. Everyone should take part. You guys have an advantage though, so maybe, I don't know, skip some questions. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. Cool, and we'll give everyone a second to join. This is the barcode here. Nice. It's an assortment of goodies. Yeah. We don't have time to go through it, but nice. All right, we'll give it a few more seconds. Is there anyone still going, signing in? Yes. All right, let's get started. Is there anyone still going? All right, I think we're good. Let's go to the first question. All right, this one's a tricky one. What surf label is currently working with C3 to develop an algae-based fabric? C3 being the climate change cluster. We can only see the first 2 answers here. Oh, we're scrolling, nice. But on your phones, you can see all 4 different multiple choice answers. Well, quickly get your answers in. Awesome. Okay. So we've got some for Rusty, Billabong. Ooh. The answer is actually piping hot. Yeah. So there'll be more coming out about that collaboration. So second question. Which group of algae is known for producing agar, a common thickening agent in food? What? 8 seconds. 5, just choose one if you haven't already. Nice. Oh, awesome. Okay, we've got a pretty even distribution, but it was actually red algae of the Rhodophyta phylum. Nice. Quite a few got that. Well done. Okay, which of the following household items is least likely to contain algae? Ten seconds. 5. Oh, paint got quite a few. And carpet cleaner a lot. It was carpet cleaner. Yeah. So carrageenan, a thickening agent from red algae, is in toothpaste and ice cream. Paint has algae-derived emulsifiers, but no algae in carpet cleaner yet. That's a gap in the market, so you guys can figure that out later. Which algae strain is well known for its high protein content, often used as a dietary supplement? I feel like you guys are doing too well. 10 seconds. Oh, spirulina got heaps, and it was spirulina. Yeah, great for your smoothies. Nice. All right. What role does algae play in the carbon cycle? Ten seconds. Remember to choose anything. Awesome. Nice. Okay. It was, in fact, they act as a carbon sink through photosynthesis. Photosynthesis being our most complex and efficient technology in the pushback to climate change. What type of algae forms a symbiotic relationship with coral, providing corals with nutrients through photosynthesis? Ten seconds. 5. Oh, this one seems to be a hard one. Oh, let's see our breakdown. Nice. We've got quite a few for dinoflagellates. Awesome. And then pretty even spread. So it was dinoflagellates. Symbiodiniaceae gives coral its beautiful colors. Well done. Okay, what chemical compound is primarily responsible for bioluminescence in algae? What chemical compound? Five seconds. Nice. Okay. Whoa. Interesting. It was, in fact, the luciferin making the sea sparkle. That was a tough one. All right, second last question, guys. Which group of algae is known for its ability to form kelp forests, to provide habitat for a diverse marine community? Five seconds. Which group of algae Oh, nice. You guys are good. It is, in fact, brown algae. Nice. Okay, we're up to our final question. So this was actually mentioned in the last pitch that we had. So we're testing whether you guys are paying attention. How much of the Earth's oxygen is produced by algae? What percentage of the Earth's oxygen? Ten seconds. 1. Oh, nice. It's 50% every second breath. Well done, guys. Okay, let's find out who our winner was. Oh, it was Nature. Well done, Nature. Let's give her a round of applause. Come up and collect your prize. You sure? Oh, okay. Nature has very kindly passed her gift on. Nature's actually an algae scientist, so she has a bit of a competitive edge. Yeah, I know. So she's passed it to Lorenzo, who is also an algae scientist. Aaron, yes. Thanks, you guys. That was fun. And we'll now bring the judges back in. They look like they're ready. And we'll find out who the winner was.
Thank you so much, Gemma. That was fun. I didn't even know the answers to this. I didn't participate either, but that was interesting. I think the judges are just walking back. Man, do you mind popping that winner slide on, please? I don't know where the... oh, there it is. Alrighty, well, I will hand over to Dr. Alex to announce the winner.
I hated that. That was, I don't know if anyone looked over watching us, but it looked like, the only thing I can think of is when I was in Sharehouse in my early 20s and someone had the big room and we had to toss for the big room and give all the reasons why we had to have the big room, and it got really tense and people stormed out. Anyway, so, pardon? It was just, I think we can all agree that the pictures that we saw tonight were very, very compelling, and it's very hard for us as judges to make a decision because really Deep Green is not about picking one and you go off into the world and you win. Deep Green and Greenlight is about supporting these early stage businesses get off the ground in the best way that they can. So with that in mind, we do have an announcement. Can we get a foot tap drum roll? Okay, in a bit of a slingshot, we've actually got two. Sorry, you're gonna have to sort the prizes out. This is how hard it was. Can I please welcome Stoke Bites and Pickle to the stage? Well done, guys. You did awesome. And I just want to thank the other two teams because I think we can all agree all of our teams did fantastically tonight. Again, it was not an easy decision to make, but really well. Congratulations, guys. Well done on your pitches. And we're wishing you all the very best with your businesses as you progress. I don't know, Janie, if you've got any final words. Do you guys want to take a bow? Do you want to...
Well, like
no speech.
If Deep Green team can come up and Luis come up, let's take a quick team shot on the stage. And the judges as well, come on up. Just a quick pick. And then you can enjoy or celebrate our drinks and food.
I don't, my knees don't do that anymore, guys. Yeah, we can sit. Are we done? All right, another round of applause for our amazing teams.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much again for coming. As I mentioned, we still have some drinks there, some beers from Jervis Bay Brewing Co., some wines, plenty of food there. So please enjoy your night. Please network with some of the judges, some of the teams. And thank you again for all your time. Have a lovely weekend and join us for networking. Woo!